So hello all, good morning to all of you. So today we'll start the next chapter, that is fabrication process of the MOSFETs. So this is very important for an overall view of this how chips are fabricated. So we'll discuss in detail in this lecture. Okay, so this is the overall things. So in introductory part, first we'll discuss how the fabrication and the circuit design and the top performance of this strongly correlated. Okay, so what is the fabrication steps? What is the role of a design engineer? So design engineer should know all these fabrication steps. Okay, to get a better performance. That thing will be discussed. Next, we'll give a overall view of the different processes. Okay, what is the CMOS technology and what are the different CMOS technology processes. Okay, this thing we'll discuss. And next is the important thing is the pattern creation process. Okay, so before going to detail in the fabrication process of any NMOS or NOL process, so first we'll discuss in a detailed manner what is the patterning process. Generally we call it lithography. So if you understand that patterning process, then it will be easy for you. So no need to remember blindly that this is the steps. So you'll understand how one by one it will come. And after that, based upon this patterning process, we'll move on to the basic advanced process, fabrication process. Here only we'll do the we'll discuss the fabrication process of NMOS. Okay, only NMOS. So once this will cover, so we'll go for the simplified fabrication steps of the CMOS NOL process. Okay, because it's popular now. Almost all processes are mostly NOL process. So that's why we'll discuss that thing. Okay. So next, if you'll get time, we'll discuss detail in the NOL process. Otherwise, next class we'll do that. So this is the first part, introductory part. So as I said, the fabrication process, circuit design process, and performance of the chip is strongly correlated, because without knowing the fabrication steps and the rules, regulations, recommendations from the fabrication vendor, the circuit design can do a better design. Okay, so that rule, regulation, that recommendation is nothing but the design rules. Okay, so every fabrication vendor, whether it's a TSMC or Global Foundry or UMC or XFAB, so for that process, either it's a 180 nanometer, 65 or 32 nanometer or 45 nanometer. So for every technology, they have the design rule sets. Okay, the design rule nothing but the during the fabrication or during the design. So you should maintain or obey some rules. That means metal to metal spacing, minimum metal width, or that NOL. What is the minimum width? What is the NOL to NOL distance? So all the layers are there, and in between that layers, what is the distance? What is the minimum width? And what are other rules are there? You have to follow. Okay, and sometimes you have to follow the minimum rules. Also, you have to follow the recommendations. Okay, so it is somewhat means higher than that minimum rule. Okay, so these things for a particular designer, these things he should know and he should obey during the design. So then after fabrication, you will get a chip which will perform well. Okay, so these are the things, and a circuit designer should know these things, the chip fabrication steps and all the process parameters. Okay, like suppose different process parameters are there. Okay, that you know that slow corner, fast corner, that nominal. So these are things now will not understand, but after that after some transistor or later we will discuss in more detail. So these are the process parameters. You have to understand these things also. Okay, then you have to design that way that even if the slow corner and the chip will come, then it will work fine. So these things you should know. and the roles of various masks used in the fabrication process. Okay, so different masks actually used for fabrication process. The mask is nothing but it's a thin layer of glass type material. So we use to create some patterns or create some layers. Okay, generally different type of masks are there. So mask numbers are there also. So in that case, means means what is the marks are used for different layers. So this thing is important for a designer. And next thing, various features of the mask. Okay, different types of masks are there. Various features also. It's opaque or some other things will add to the mask to block the lights. So these things are there. So a designer should know these things. Then he can design a better circuit or better chip. Okay. So anything have you understood here? Everything?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. So next we will go the basic CMOS technology process. Okay, so the CMOS nothing but it's a complementary MOS. That means NMOS and PMOS both are there. Okay, so whatever circuit you will design in that circuit is both PMOS and NMOS is there. Okay, that is CMOS technology process. So in this CMOS technology process, in the fabrication, both NMOS and PMOS device in one process flow. Means both PMOS and NMOS design, NMOS transistor design in a single process flow. Okay, there is no means in separate process flow for NMOS, separate process for PMOS. In a single process flow, both NMOS and PMOS can be means designed. Okay, so next thing is the all kind of similar type of device like it's NMOS or PMOS or other active devices like BJT, diode, or passive devices like capacitor, resistor, and your inductor. So all these devices, similar type of devices can fabricate simultaneously. Okay, at a time you can do all the means suppose a chip size is means it's 2 mm by 2 mm. So wherever the similar types of devices are there, so at a time all the devices will do the fabricate. Means will do the layers of the transistor. Means will fabricate the layers or will pattern the layers simultaneously. Okay, wherever the devices are there, whether it's left corner or right corner or middle or anywhere. Okay, simultaneously you can do the same type of devices. Okay, this is the CMOS technology person. And next thing is transistors are fabricated in the silicon substrate, that mostly the p-type substrate. Okay, p-type substrate means p-type semiconductor. Okay, so the semiconductor is heavily doped or heavily or lightly. It's p-type semiconductor, means doped with acceptor atoms. Okay, so it's a p-type semiconductor. So and the metal interconnections after the transistor fabrication. So we'll do the metallization. Metallization means we'll connect the metals. So for source contact, drain contact, then poly body. So we'll do the metallization. We'll contact the metal. Then we can take that metal contact to upper levels. Okay, upper level means suppose this will go to another transistor. Okay, so we can connect to metal 1, then metal 2. Okay, so then it will run through metal 2, again another transistor will connect through metal 2 to metal 1, then metal 1 to source, drain, or poly. So like that. So after the transistor fabrication, then we will do the metallization. Okay, so and next thing is the cost. The cost it's not depends upon the number of transistors or number of devices inside a chip. Okay, it's depends upon the size of the chip. Okay, size of the devices. So definitely actually when you go for fabrication, so the cost is mentioned per size, per square mm or per square cm, like that. Okay, so these four points are important in CMOS technology process. So what are the existing CMOS technologies? Okay, So this NMOL process generally is more popular. We are using this NMOL process, and also whatever design will do, that is NMOL process. In NMOL process, the NMOS is fabricated in the P substrate, and the PMOS fabricated inside the NOL. Okay, that means if P substrate is there, we will grow a NOL there. Inside that NOL, we will create a PMOS. But inside a substrate, we will create the NMOS. This is the NOL process. And the POL process is nothing but the completely opposite to NOL. That means you will create a POL. Means your substrate is the N substrate, and you will create a POL. So inside that POL, you will create N transistor, and inside the NOL, means N substrate, you will create a P transistor. Okay, so these two process is NOL is more popular, and then two-in-tape process. Two-in-tape process means it's two OL. It's two-in OL. You can say also two-in OL. Is two type of OLs are there, both NOL and POL. Okay, NOL is for the P transistor, and POL is for the N transistor. Okay, so it's more means for substrate contact and for isolation purpose. This is good. So triple OL process also, P substrate, then NOL, then POL. So this is another type of process, very rarely used, but it's more on RF processes. Generally, this type of process is used for RF design, LNA or mixer, where the noise requirement is very less. Okay, isolation is required, so that cases will use the triple OL process. And the silicon on insulator SOI process is popular. So silicon insulator means the P substrate will be there. Then after the P substrate, one silicon dioxide layer will deposit. Then we will do the NOL and POL. We will do the transistors. Okay, this is actually what we are designing here in the silicon, that 180 nanometer process, that is SOI process. Okay, so these are the processes in CMOS technology, and what are the CMOS technology process, and what are the existing processes are there. So this thing is important. You can remember these things, and you can also to know more about these things, you can solve. Okay. And now, though it is abstract for you now, because you don't know about this means fabrication process, what is the silicon transistor, how it is fabricated, what are the layers. So at least I have given a list of layers. Okay, what are the layers used in a transistor? To fabricate a transistor, what are the layers? So you can see in the left side different layers. First is a P substrate. So P substrate is nothing but 1 minute. So this P substrate is nothing but this one is the P substrate. Okay, so it's a P-type semiconductor. Okay, and the NOL, this part is the NOL. Okay, so inside this P substrate we will grow a NOL. Okay, so in this P substrate we will create the N MOSFET. Okay, N channel MOSFET, and here inside the NOL we will create a P-type MOSFET. Okay, then this is the diffusion layer. So diffusion is nothing but the P plus and plus diffusion layer. This part is nothing but the diffusion layers. Okay, this N plus drain and source. So these are the diffusion layers. Here inside the NOL, the P plus and P plus. Okay, these are the diffusion layers. Okay, and the oxide layer. See, you can see a thin oxide. Okay, here it's a thin oxide. Okay, this is the oxide layer, and other oxide layers are the thick oxide layers are also there. Okay, this is channel stop oxide layer. Okay, and these field oxides are there, but this is the gate oxide. Okay, very thin, and that polysilicon layers. So this part, this top of this that thin oxide, one polysilicon layers are there, where we will get the gate. Okay, gate connection of the transistor. Next is contact layers. So you can see this. This is the metal layer, actually the black one. So above the N plus or above the P plus, all black layers are nothing but the metals. Okay, this is aluminum metal. Okay, so in between this N plus and metal, so their connection is nothing but a contact. Okay, inside there is a contact. Okay, see contact layer, metal to substrate and metal to NaOL, metal to poly, metal to diffusion also I have not mentioned here, but metal to diffusion contacts are there. Okay, so metal to NaOL means this part is NaOL. Okay, so we will contact here. This is NaOL and this is N plus. So see this metal to this contact is metal to NaOL. This is metal to P diffusion contacts. Okay, metal to poly. Suppose here poly. So somewhere contact is there, but it's not visible. So metal to poly contacts are also there. Okay, this is poly. When you take this contact outside, so you have to contact through a metal. Okay, and then metal layers M1 to M1 top, M top. M top means the highest level of metal, but here only metal one is there. So I'll show you in the next picture what is metal top. Okay, so metal layers are there. Then via layers. Here via layers is not shown because only it's the transistor. Okay, so contact is nothing but the base level of connections, interconnections. That is from poly to metal or diffusion to metal or your NaOL to metal or P sub to metal. These are said generally contacts. So in interview, anyone can ask what is the difference between contact and via. Okay, so contact is the base level interconnections, that is poly to metal, diffusion to metal, NaOL to metal, and P sub to metal. But via is nothing to metal to metal. Suppose metal 1 to metal 2, you want to contact, so you will put via. Okay, so generally it's differentiated in this way. This is contact, that is via. So that thing I will show you. So here, anyone have any doubt? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Perfectly, or you have any doubt? So this is your transistor actually. So this is a simple means CMOS means both NMOS and PMOS are there. Okay. So this is the total thickness of the transistor. Okay. Then this is the thickness of NaOL, and this is the thickness of metal, the thickness of the oxide. So all this is the 3D view of a CMOS. Okay, both NMOS and PMOS. Okay, all the layers are there. Okay, so
Sir, what is the thickness of P substrate? What is the thickness of P substrate?
Yeah, thickness from this bottom part to this part. So that thickness is maybe is 3 nano, 5 nanometer or 10 nanometer like that. Okay, and the thickness of this oxide is less than 1 nanometer also. Okay.
So, and what is the thickness of NaOL inside that?
NaOL, you can think if it is 10 nanometer, then it's 7 or 8 nanometer. Okay, this is for example. For technology is different. Okay, just I have said the means typical value, but if you go to lower technology, suppose 7 nanometer or less than that, then this thickness is very less. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So these are the layers and thicknesses and the contacts. All these things are just got the idea how the transistor look like. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you will get to some better picture. Already you have seen the transistor. Now you will see the interconnects. Okay, I said that via. The via part I said in that previous picture it was not shown. So here you can see the via. See the bottom part is the transistor, already I have discussed. Then how it is connected to upper layers. So in a transistor or in a circuit, the stack of metal layers are there. Okay, so after the transistor, anyone means either drain or source is connected to metal one. Okay, this line is metal one, reserved for metal one. Okay, So then this part, this gap is nothing but the oxide. Okay, between metal 1 to metal 2, there is some oxide layers. Okay, then this line is nothing but the metal 2 layers. Okay, so again oxide, then metal 3, again oxide, metal 4, again oxide, metal 5, metal 6, metal 7, metal 8. Then this is metal 9, this is metal 10. So these number of layers of metals are there. Nowadays, even if 12 or 13 metal layers are there in some microns in recent technology. Okay, so you can connect this drain to up to metal 10 or metal, here it's showing that metal 3. So you can connect to metal 4, metal 5 like that. Okay, and the connection between metal 10 or metal 9 or any between two metals, this is the via. Okay, that means there is a hole from metal 3 to metal 2 and some tungsten material or any aluminum material deposited inside that via. Okay, so it is connected, metal 3 and metal 2 is connected. So in this way, the metal stacks are there in a fabrication means vendor. Okay, if you fabricate a chip, so this much of complexity is there. Okay, it's not a simple thing. So first the transistor thing you have seen, then these are the metal structure. Okay, this is 1 poly 10 metal structure. Okay, so are you getting something? So how chip actually, how much complexity is there? What are the metal stacks and how the transistor look like? Okay, how one by one. So the fabrication step is nothing but one by one. So once the transistor fabricated, then your via will fabricate the first contact. This is the contact will fabricate. So after that, whole line of this metal one will be fabricated. Okay, so here will metal fabricated. Here there is no metal, it's oxide. Though no metal means oxide. Okay, then again in this layer you will create another via, then you will create metal, then via, then metal, like that. So one by one. So it will take time to fabricate. So it will, so all the patterns are required, patterning of this metal. Then one by one you will do the fabrication. So got the idea?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the structure? So everyone, or we are not getting anything? Just be interactive. Actually, if you not understood, I'll explain again, because this is you'll give at least so latter part should not lost this part.
Sir, just one doubt.
Yes. Tell me.
Sir, the AP1, the upper interconnect, that is exposed to outer atmosphere, so the impurities will be trapped inside it, or there are some other processes to isolate that.
No, that is epilayer, epitex layer. Actually, it is not impurity, but actually, this is like a metal. It's
Yes, sir,
will
like
connect to
I
outside.
was
Yes.
saying, when we are doing the oxidation process, so some doped atoms also gets trapped into it. That I was saying,
That
like there
see
is some
that
process of isolation.
no. Actually, in the bottom part, in the transistor, that is important. So during the oxidation, that trap charge will be there. That will deviate your functionality. Okay, or it will threshold. It will impact on the threshold voltage. But here, this in metallization, it will not impact anymore. This is metal. So after a long chain of metal, we will see the epi layers. So it's not impact the performance of the transistor. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now, initially, actually, in the first second slide, I discussed that NOL and POL process. So you can see the images, how it is look like. So this is the NOL process. Here the NOL process, and the substrate is P substrate. Here in P substrate, you will create the NMOS transistor. Okay. Here the NMOS. This is the source, drain, and this part is gate, and this is the body. Okay, body of the NMOS. Okay, so body is heavily docked, P, and here this part is your PMOS. So one NMOS is annual is created. Inside that annual, you have to create the diffusion layers P plus, and then N plus body of that PMOS transistor. Okay, so this is the annual process, and the POL process is completely opposite. So you can, this is the N substrate, and you will create a POL. Inside that, the N transistors. Okay, and this is POL. Okay, next thing is twin top. What I said, twin top means this is two wells, means P well and N well. So here in P well, you will create N transistors. N well, it's PMOS transistor. Okay, PMOS FETs, and this is the substrate. So it's a common for two, but in between there is some buried P plus and P NMOS. Okay, and this is the twin well process. So this twin well process actually you'll get some advantage on that threshold voltage, body effect, all these things. Next thing is your triple well process. Is another kind of process. Here see you can the triple well. So this is your P substrate, then is the deep N well, then N well or isolated P well. So these are triple well. So this transistor generally used for very low noise applications, RF applications. So particularly in this digital application, this is not important. But RF application, analog applications, where the performance is very critical. So that yeah, because this process is complicated, fabrication steps also complicated, it is much costly. Okay. And the SOI, this is a single NMOS. This is the SOI process. So SOI, this is the P substrate, P type. Then you will create an insulator, and then you will create diffusion layers. Okay. So this completely it is separated from that this N plus and N plus completely separated from this P types. So to avoid the substrate noise, okay, though it's means isolated from this substrate. So to avoid the substrate noise, this process is very good. Okay, these are the basic things. You can learn more things by searching more and more about these things. Okay, just an idea. What are the processes?
So
Yes.
that in
Body effect, yeah.
triple process, why we are using deep and well?
Deep again means to make to make isolation from the P substrate. Okay, because generally in high frequency circuits, substrate noise is more. Okay, so if the substrate will contact to N well, that noise will induce here and here. So that's why you have to avoid. So you have to put another N well. That means this total things will be isolated from substrate. Okay. Means individually you can get the better performance individually for NMOS and N well, and it is not connected directly to the P substrate.
Okay,
Only
sir.
because to avoid the substrate noise.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So
SOI
yes.
we will be not getting a body.
Body here actually the body is here.
Body effect.
Here no body effect actually. No, your question is, what's your question? Shatabdi?
Sir, I was saying we will be not getting a body effect, so there will be a reduction in threshold also.
You will not get body effect.
Yes, sir, because we are isolating the diffusion regions from the substrate.
Now, body effect is different. Body effect means suppose your source and body if there is a voltage
Substrate
difference uh, from a source and body, there is a voltage difference, then and that threshold voltage will be vary. Okay, that is different. But here I said the substrate is not directly connected to the diffusion layers. Okay, like NMOS process, the substrate is connected to N diffusion layers. Okay, but here it is completely separated. So that's why substrate noise will be less. Yes.
Sir, I was saying the like in cutoff region we are having two diodes back to back connected, so that's why there is no channel formed. So when we will be isolating the diffusion regions from the substrate, so there will be no diode like the capacitance which we are getting because of that diode, we will be not getting that. So there will be the substrate bias effect which we were getting earlier, that will be reduced.
Yes, that is okay. Yeah, another thing is also, have you studied about the latch-up effect?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That thing also, what you are saying, that is part of that. Actually, that latch-up effect also reduced here. Okay.
So what is latch-off effect?
Latch-up, actually, that is a separate class. So I'll discuss. So just go and read. Okay. So in CMOS technology, latch-up is very, very important to know, because due to latch-up, a complete short circuit between NMOS and PMOS will be there. Okay, so law means huge amount of current will flow, finally it will destroy. Okay, so it's a back-to-back two transistors are there. Okay, and the substrate part is referred to as resistors, and that diffusion layer and substrate layer will create as a transistors. So that thing you can read from any books, or we'll discuss. But if we discuss here, then it will take. Just remember this thing: due to latch-up effect, a huge current will flow through the transistors, okay, through the MOSFETs, and it will destroy. A short circuit current will flow. Okay. So how it will flow? What is the circuit? We'll discuss later. Okay. So now,
Sir, is this silicon on insulator process
yes,
used for low VT processes?
low BT, no, it is also same BT process also there, low BT process also there. That BT actually depends upon your channel impurity, or that oxide layers, all these things. So here in the SY also, different type of BT option is there. Low BT, medium BT, and high BT options are also there. Okay. Are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. And next thing is the before going to the fabrication, you should clearly know about the pattern creation. That is called lithography, because it is a repeated process for every layer creation. Pattern creation nothing but the creation of a layer. Okay. So for a transistor fabrication, so already that silicon substrate is there. Okay. You have to suppose create a annual region. So you have to pattern that, means you have to create that annual through some mask. Okay. Then you have to create some oxide layers. Okay. You have to pattern that, means you have to create the oxide layers where the oxide is not required. You have to remove that. So that is nothing but the patterning. So similarly, polysilicon you have to pattern, metals you have to pattern. So these are the repeated process, and every step, every layer, this patterning things will be used. Okay, so that's why though it is common for every layer, so you should know this very well. Okay. So in this here for patterning, so we'll take the example of oxide. Okay, how to pattern a oxide in a simple silicon substrate. From that we will understand what is the patterning then we'll go to NMOS fabrication. Okay. So this is the patterning of silicon dioxide. This is the example, but metal patterning or polysilicon patterning or other oxide patterning is there. But this is one type of oxide patterning, silicon dioxide. Okay. So first, the silicon substrate is available for you. Okay. So what we will do? We will do a silicon dioxide by thermal oxidation. Okay, here the method is thermal oxidation. By thermal oxidation, we will put a layer of silicon dioxide over the silicon substrate. Okay, so this thickness, it depends. Means it may be thick or it may be thin, but depends upon the requirement. You will put a silicon dioxide through thermal oxidation. Okay, so once it will deposited, so what we will do? We will create a photoresist material over it. Okay, so this photoresist material is actually light sensitive material. Okay, when the light will be fall on this photoresist material, so part of means without the light it is hard, and once light will fall on this, it will be soluble. Okay, you can remove easily. So this is photoresist material generally used to create some patterning, and it is also acid resistant. Okay, acid resistant organic polymer. Okay, so and initially it is insoluble. Okay, so initially the photoresist material is insoluble. When the light will fall on this, it will be soluble. Okay, so suppose you require a NMOS, means you will create a gate. So for that we have to remove some of the oxide. Okay, that's why the where we want to remove the oxide, in that part we will put the lights, UV lights, throw some mask. Okay, so that fourth step is nothing but this is the glass mask with some features. Features means here some features are added. That means UV light will not flow in this path. This part is transparent. Okay, so once the UV light will fall on this photoresist, so this part will be soluble. Okay, so easily we can use some solvents. We can etch this part. Okay, so now in the next step, you can see once you will put the light, it will be soluble. Then you can etch this part. So finally, you will get this type of structure. That means that silicon substrate over that oxide. Then some part of this photoresist, but where you will create the gate, in that part it is absent. Okay. So another thing is the photoresist, also different types of photoresist are there. So positive photoresist and negative photoresist. Okay, photoresist, if positive photoresist will be used, initially it is insoluble. So after light will fall, it will be soluble. Okay, but negative photoresist is opposite. Means initially it's soluble. Once light will fall, it will be insoluble. It will be hard. But negative more sensitive to the light. Okay, but the problem is in negative photoresist, the resolution will be less. Resolution means at this part. Okay, this part will not exact shape. Okay, so that's why we are using positive photoresist. Okay, this is the general steps. So next is
So what is
after
photoresist made of?
photoresist material. This is a photoresist material. Generally, generally photoresist material. You can check that it's a simple material. If light will fall on this, it will be soluble. Okay.
What is it? What is it made of?
It's a organic polymer actually. Okay, it's like organic polymer. Okay, acid resistant organic polymer. So once light will fall, it will be soluble. If it is a positive photoresist material. Okay.
If once it is soluble, then again it can give back its shape. Means it can become hard after keeping in dark.
No, once it will be soluble, by using some solvents, you can remove that part, soluble part. Okay, that is the process. So generally we want this part to be free. So that's why first we will remove this photoresist, then we will try to remove this oxide part. Okay, this is the process, because we don't want to remove this part, left side or right side. Okay, that's why you put a photoresist, and we use the means the required type of mask. Only the light will pass through that part. Okay, this is the transparent part. So part, the light will be fall on this photoresist through this, then it will be soluble, then we can easily remove this part by using some solvent. Okay, so next part you can also that is generally called etching. Okay, if you remove this part, it's called etching. Here also you can etch also that means oxide part. So for that we will use some HF means that's some oxide solvent. Okay, so we will remove also that part.
So which part, sir? That middle part?
That middle part, oxide part. Okay, so chemical solvent, we can use some chemical solvent. Okay, by using HF acid. Okay, some chemical is there. By using that HF acid, we can remove that oxide part also. Okay, so now you can see the silicon substrate is there, then left and right side is oxide, then the free region you can get. See here, this free region will be used for your gate creation. Okay, which means your transistor gate. Okay, so that's why you remove that. So finally you can see the right part of the figure. So from a simple structure to silicon structure, then over that oxide is there, whole layers of oxide. Finally we will get the bottom part of this figure. So this is nothing but the patterning of the oxide. Okay, so that means you are create a channel. Okay, means you will put here the gate. Okay, so this is the patterning process. So in this way you can do the patterning for all other layers. Okay, this is for oxide layer. We can do for the polysilicon layers, so we can do the metal layers, we can do some NOL or P silicon. Okay, so this is common for all, so that's why it is important.
This all will go on the same process, sir.
For every layer, it is the example of oxide layer. For every layer, so you can do same thing. Okay, so you will use mask, we will use UV lights, you will use photoresistive material. Okay, you will use etching part, means you will use that. Okay, so this is the repeated process. So for every layer, so this process will be there in fabrication unit. So for every layer from bottom to top, every layer, this patterning process will be there first. So once one layer will be complete, then second layer of patterning will become. So that layer will complete, then third layer, fourth layer, like that. So this is the process. Okay.
Okay.
So now you understood the patterning process. Now it will be easy for you the fabrication steps of NMOS. Okay, how we will create a NMOS. Okay, so till now you have understood how to remove that silicon dioxide from overhead silicon substrates. So this is silicon substrate, then you will create a silicon dioxide over that. Okay, so after that you will use UV lights, then you will use photoresist, then you will remove that part by etching. Okay, so finally you will get this part, free part. So now here you want to create a gate. Okay, so for gate, for a transistor, the gate polysilicon gate is nothing but that this part is your silicon. First will come the oxide, then your polysilicon will come. So that's why you will put a oxide layer, thin oxide. Okay, because for MOSFET means MOS, M-O-S. This is metal oxide and silicon, semiconductor. Okay, So metal is nothing but the polysilicon, then oxide, then this is semiconductor. So that's why we will put that oxide layer, thin oxide layer. Okay. So now you will put, after the thin oxide, you will put polysilicon. Okay, one polysilicon layer. Okay. Now here the next thing will come, the patterning of the polysilicon. Okay, whatever process you have followed in the dioxide patterning, so again you will follow same thing here in patterning of the polysilicon. Okay, so you will use some mask, some featured mask, then you will you will put some lights, UV lights, then you will etch these parts. Okay, this polysilicon parts from here. Okay, so these are the same process to pattern the polysilicon. Okay. Now, once the polysilicon will be there, then these things, means the left side of that polysilicon, get left side and right side, it should remove, because we want to create the diffusion layers here. Okay. For NMOS, it should be N plus and it should be N plus. We will create some diffusion layers. That's why you have to remove this thin oxide again. So again, for that removal, so we use that patterning of the thin oxide process. Okay, same UV light, same etching, everything will follow. So after that, diffusion process will come. Okay, here, so what we will do, some processes are for diffusion, some ion implantation or diffusion processes are there. So here you will deposit the N-type material in this gap. Okay, in this gap you will deposit some N plus material, means heavily doped N material. Okay, that is called the diffusion process. So if you go detail, what is the diffusion? Lot of things are there. Okay, just remember by diffusion process or ion implantation method. So we'll put this N plus layer here. Okay. And then what we will do after these steps, we will put a oxide layer throughout the region, because after the polysilicon we want a oxide layer. Okay, over the polysilicon. Okay, so we'll put over the all region a oxide layer. Okay, so after that, again we'll do the patterning of this oxide layer. Okay, why? Because we want a metal connection. Okay, from this is about source, this is drain. Okay, so you want some metal connection from this. Okay, it will go outside. Again from poly also. So that's why you have to pattern that oxide, silicon oxide here. Okay, so what we will do, again we will put some mask, give some UV lights, then we will etch. So now this part is free. Okay, this part is free. So now what we will do, we will put some metal. So in the next step, see, this is the metallization process. Yes.
Sir, in the previous slide, yes, sir. Here in F, we are etching the polysilicon. After that, sir, next slide.
Okay, here.
Next one.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, in F, we are etching polysilicon. Sir, previous slide.
Yes.
Yes. Sir, in F, we are etching polysilicon, then we are etching the oxide. So, sir, the UV light will be falling in whole region or only in the trench, because these are intact. These oxide layers are intact here over the dioxide.
For this F region, okay, only here the whole region, means if you see the E picture, okay, the only we require this amount of polysilicon. Okay, so that's why we will use that type of mass which will remove all this, means which will be means the mass will be like that, means we can remove this part. Okay, only this part, the light will not fall on this. Okay, only this part.
Sir,
So in
Yes,
all,
sir, sir, then in figure I, when we are putting the insulating layer, sir, the insulating layer is covering the polysilicon. So the
yes, yes, yes.
polysilicon, when will be used in contacts, what will happen? Like when we are doping the different layers of polysilicon is also getting doped, so the resistivity of that is reduced. So we sometimes use it as metal contacts or for some connections. So if this insulating oxide will cover that, then it will not be able to do that.
You are saying the polysilicon directly will not contact the
Then
metal.
figure I.
Figure I. What's your question?
Sir, I was saying in figure I, the insulating layer is covering the total part. Then we are getting it etched, so it is only covering only leaving the both diffusion layers for contacts. But
Yes.
when we are doping the diffusion layers with N plus ions, so the polysilicon is also getting doped. So before it has higher resistivity, but after that its resistivity is getting reduced. So when it is covering it with insulating oxide as in figure J, so sir, it will not be able to do connections when we will be doing interconnections and metal contacts, or we will
No,
remove that insulating oxide from the
yes, yes,
poly one.
we will remove. Actually, we will remove that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Maybe in this figure it's not there, but definitely we have to remove that part. Okay, that oxide part will contact to the metal. Okay, because finally this polysilicon is connected to the metal. Okay, so though it will go outside, so definitely it will connect to the
Yes, sir.
aluminum or any copper. Okay, so you are correct actually.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in that figure, sir, H figure we are the previous slide. Sir, in that H
This
figure
one.
above the polysilicon, yes, sir. In the H figure above the polysilicon, again we are giving the insulating thin oxide,
Yes.
insulating oxide. So why we'll give it in the entire length of the channel? Because at the end again we are doing the etching and patterning thing. So why can't we just give it in that part, like the instead of giving it and then removing the wastage of
Uh,
and things? So
Means
is
you are
that's why.
you are saying selectively we put oxide. Selectively we put
Yes,
all.
sir. Like
No, if we'll put oxide over means oxidation process. If we'll put over the area, it will be easy. If we'll put selectively, means you can etch selectively. You can remove, but it is easy to put all over the surface. It's very easy for oxidation process.
sir, in the case of polysilicon also above the thin oxide layer, we are putting it in entire length and then again doing the etching process and removing the polysilicon metal. So there is a wastage of metal, no? So instead of that, use that mask in the particular place and like put the polysilicon in that place instead of putting it entire, because metal is also getting wasted. That's why I was asking, is it possible, like there is a way of
Uh,
doing that?
no, it is possible, but the easy way is it's not wasted actually. To get the exact structure, they are doing this way. Actually, so this is the process. Means whatever easy they are following this method. Because if you will put selectively some thing, then maybe it's difficult. So once the oxidation process, it will over the whole region, that it will be easier than that selectively put the oxide. Okay, so that's why they are doing in this way. Okay, and but the diffusion, it is separately, though it is means oxides are there in the left and right, and if free space is there, so diffusion can easily done. That is not a problem. But for oxidation, for that polysilicon, other things, it will cover total region of the surface. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
I think that
Sir,
that's the
actually
easy
time is
process.
Yes.
to enter another class.
Okay, it's over.
Yes, sir.
Just,
Yes, sir.
okay, so it's over also. So this is the metal process. So once it will be done, then we will do the metal. Similarly, we pattern the metal also. We'll cover all the metals. Then we will selectively will etch the metal. So only the source and drain pattern. So here also, it's not shown how to connect that gate, but it is there and to connect the gate with the metals. Okay, next part is the a simplified annual process. We will discuss in the next lecture. Okay. So we will stop here. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So next lecture we will do the simple annual process.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.